What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, I wanted to talk a little bit about my decision to speak publicly about the fact that I am a virgin, because it was actually a decision that I put a lot of thought into. And a lot of people will ask me, they'll say, like, how can you even talk about this publicly? Like, does that not feel weird? You know, and it was weird when I first started talking about it. It did feel pretty uncomfortable, but safe to say, I had already made the decision that I was going to go public with this information and start talking about it more for very specific reasons that I was very sure about. So here's what I want you guys to understand. With every single decision that you make in your life, you make doing the right thing in the future either easier or you make it harder. What do I mean by this? Well, we all know what we should do in life. There's a pretty clear framework. We have a conscience that is made to sort of guide us through making decisions. We all know what we should do, and yet we all find ourselves time and again doing the things that we know that we shouldn't do. So how do we keep ourselves from making the bad decision, from going down the wrong path? Well, the answer is to cultivate a life that makes it difficult to sin, to cultivate a life that makes it easier to choose the right things and to go in the right direction. For example, when I go out and I buy food for my pantry and for my fridge, I fill it with whole foods. I fill it with fruit and vegetables and protein sources and foods that are going to fill me up, foods that have a lot of micronutrients, foods that are going to help me build my body. Instead of filling my pantry with a bunch of foods that I know would not help me get to where I want to go. Foods that do not sustain me, foods that may taste good, that may give me a quick dopamine hit, but foods that are ultimately going to drag me down. They are going to give me less energy. I decided to talk about my virginity publicly because what I figured out is that when you speak, when you say something, what you do is you build something in your life with every word that you say. And I'm always encouraging people not to talk negatively about themselves. Don't say, oh, I'm just a tired person. Oh, I'm just an angry person. Because what you do when you speak like this is you put yourself in a box that is confining. It keeps you from doing things that you know that you should do. Oh, I'm just not a public speaker. I'm not good at that. When in reality, you could go out and you could become better at public speaking. So the words that you say create the reality around you. And they can either make decisions easier or they can make decisions harder. So when I came to the realization of what you speak actualizes your reality, I thought, why don't I use this for my own benefit? One of the reasons why I never talked about being a virgin in the first place was because lust is really, really hard to fight against. And there have been many times in my life when I thought that I was going to fail. I thought that I was going to break the promise that I had kept to myself in waiting till marriage. And this very thought was what kept me from talking about it. And I realized that. And I said, I'm not talking about this publicly, even though it's something that I've committed myself to, even though it's something that I am devoted towards doing. I haven't spoken about it publicly out of the fear that one day I may eventually mess up down the line and then people may call me on my bullshit. They may call me a hypocrite. Once I realized that, I knew that I had to talk about it. It's something that I had to mention because now all of these people out there know me as the virgin, natty bodybuilder fitness coaching guy. It's all part of my brand. It's all intertwined. I was just talking to a guy the other day who said that he had mentioned me to one of his friends, and his friend didn't know who I was until he described me as the virgin natty bodybuilder guy. What speaking about this subject publicly has done for me is it has built walls. It hasn't locked me in a box that I don't want to be in. I haven't locked myself away with my words. I have built myself a fucking castle. I have built myself walls that I am going to stay within because I understand the vices are constantly going to war against my city. The temptations are crashing against my stronghold every single day. Why would I not use the words that I speak and the ability to be held accountable by others for what I say to my advantage? To build up defenses, to use it as an extra line of defense that tells me, no, what are you doing? Don't do this. Think about everything you have said. Think about everything that you have told other people to do. Guys, and this is one of the reasons why teaching things is so incredibly helpful. It's one of the reasons why I make these videos in the first place. Is because when I say things, when I write things down on a whiteboard, when I teach others, I cement them into my own mind. In order to teach something, you must know it for yourself. It's part of the beauty of teaching and learning. If you want to make a change, if you want to actually do the things that you know that you need to do, you need to build up walls to keep out the enemy. You can't just continue floating through life. You are going to get pulled somewhere where you don't want to be. There are forces in this world that are constantly trying to throw you off track. So you have to cement yourself. You have to build up your walls so that when the day comes and it's incredibly tempting to go with the way of the world, you stay steadfast. There is a phrase that has been circulating that says something along these lines. In order to first fall asleep, you must pretend to be asleep. And that's how everything in life works. And what this saying is referring to is that if you go out and you pretend to be the person that you want to be, if you act like you are the person that you want to be, you will find yourself doing the things that this better version of you does. And then pretty soon you will find out that you are him. You have become him by playing the part, by doing the action. So cultivate the environment around you. Make it a pristine garden where the fruits of the Spirit are ripe for the picking. Actively work every single day to build the walls around you to keep the goodness in and keep the evil out. I want to be held accountable by the words that I say. I want to be a man of my word, and that conviction in and of itself will continue to hold me to my word even when things are incredibly difficult, even when I don't feel like doing it. My desire to be a better version of myself, my desire to pretend to be someone that I know is better. Someone who doesn't fall into these vices, someone who doesn't fall into temptation. And I always knew it was gonna be a weird thing to talk about publicly, but I truly felt like it was something that I was being called to talk about, to hold myself accountable, and also show other people out there that you don't have to go and figure out that pursuing lust and chasing sex isn't the end goal, and that it's not going to bring you satisfaction by going out and doing it. You can know from watching other people, hey, this is not the solution. This is not the answer. This is not the way to live life. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Drop a like down below. Drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you watched all the way through to the end of this video, because if you did, you've got an attention span of steel, my friend. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.